wanting to share practical skills like. I can try to go back. Save it as a PDF or something like that. And that's so I can go back to later.
Yeah, actually, behind the secret door, it's like a mall of.
All right, I think we're gonna get started. Have we hit record?
We have.
Awesome, all right, thank you. So hopefully we'll be able to get through this pretty quickly. I'm not sure exactly what Mr. Harris has to share. I don't have a lot. I think Pam has most of the agenda for today. So let's get started with Mr. Harris.
Sure.
What you have to report out.
Good morning, everyone. I just have a few things, just go over a couple things here. The first thing is, it's been fantastic to have live performances after 20 months. So last week we had our band winter concert, orchestra winter concert last week. Tonight there's a Frost Unified basketball game at George Mason with some of our students with special needs and their peer helpers. On Thursday, there's Our Minds Matter event in Washington, D.C. with our Frost Minds Matter Club has been invited, and I may be able to pop in over in DC to join them. Later this week we have our theater production, Alice in Wonderland as well. Next week we have our choir winter concert coming up, and then as we all know, Fun Times in Middle School FLE is coming up as well. So you guys will have some interesting conversations at the dinner table, I'm sure, over the next 2 weeks leading up to the holiday break. The SGA Spirit Week is December 13th through the 18th. Monday is Mismatch Day. Tuesday is Animation Day. You can dress up like your favorite cartoon character or anime. Wednesday is Duo Day. Thursday is Ugly Sweater Day, and Friday is Pajama Day. As you all can see, the renovation is in full swing. Knock on wood, the weather's been fantastic, so they're making a great push. Mrs. Morningstar, Mr. Hudson and I will be meeting with some of the vendors today for furniture. Around 11 o'clock to talk about what the furniture will look like in the classroom and the office as well. So that's right on schedule. A couple things just to, I don't know if folks have questions about the traffic in the morning. If you drop your students off in Kiss and Ride, you may see there's a little bit of traffic in the morning. We used to have those two sort of, I guess, traffic people out there. Now the one that's closest to Frost Middle School, she doesn't conduct the traffic in the morning. She just crosses students over. So we're working with the local police station to see if we can send over a uniformed police officer to help with the traffic congestion in the morning, and actually direct traffic, because she's not allowed to direct traffic any longer. So folks may have seen a difference in the traffic patterns because of that. So we try to address that. Secondly, or finally, I guess I would say, students are being your conversation with your son or daughter about going over the Fair City Mall, especially after school. Typically there's not much good going over at Fair City Mall after school. So we try to discourage students from going over. Last week there was an incident that happened over in Fair City Mall. One student's off the property. We can't really go over there. Our SRO doesn't have jurisdiction over there because it's Fairfax City. So we want to be mindful of students just making good decisions. Reminder that once students leave school property, they're not allowed to come back on the school program or to ride the late bus. So just be mindful of those conversations that you're having with your sons and daughters about, making good decisions, specifically surrounding going over the Fair City Mall. The school's going pretty well. We're having, education, the students learning, teachers are fairly happy. Everybody's ready for this 0.3 snow tomorrow, 3-inch snow tomorrow. And then, obviously we're gearing up for the break. So, any comments, any concerns, just continue to reach out to me and let me know.
Were you able to fill there? I guess there was an open science position, teaching position in 8th grade. What's
Oh.
the status on that?
Oh, yeah, the teacher returned back. She
Okay.
came back from maternity leave back in
Oh, perfect.
October. Yeah, yeah, so we're all set there.
Just a quick question about the weather. If we were to have, not tomorrow necessarily, but if we were to have a snowstorm, that kind of thing, would we be virtual or would we would have a snow day?
If I'm not mistaken, after the first 5, if I'm not mistaken, after the first 5 snow days, I think we will go virtual.
Okay.
If there was a 6 snow day.
Sure.
Yeah, so I believe that's the thing. Correct.
Okay. And we lost our person on.
Oh,
Okay, so membership is at 192 members. So every member counts, so if you see your friends, just encourage them to join the PTA. And if they want to make a donation as well, always greatly appreciated. We did get a photographer to do a photo shoot fundraiser for the spring, so we're looking at dates for that and just working with her schedule and what she thinks is likely to sort of yield the best scenery for that. In prior years, we had done it as a fall fundraiser, so just trying to figure out the timing on that. And then we have, it came out in the email yesterday, we're doing a hospitality event for the teachers for the holidays. So that's going to be held on the 16th. And so the email has all the particulars about signing up and dropping off donations for that. And I know the teachers always appreciate when there's a treat table out there for them. So definitely appreciate everyone's support on that. All right, Pam.
I just wanted to go through a few things real fast as far as, there's been a lot of questions about spiritware. Most of our stuff is online with Squad Locker, which I'm sure you guys have seen and you saw on the link yesterday. They recently added drinkware, which is kind of cool to have your Frost coffee mugs and that kind of thing. So that's now in the store, and that's from a separate vendor. So it's my understanding that if you ordered it now, you could get it theoretically prior to Christmas. Where the other stuff takes a little bit longer since it's all the rest is all the same vendor. So that's new. There's been a ton of stuff I've added. So we have about 350 different things in there. If anybody sees anything, it's a lot of stuff now that's starting to get sold out. So if anybody is looking for something, let me know because I can go in and I can find something that like Jordan's grabbing it and I can throw it into the store. The other thing has always been, we've talked about before, the car magnets and the lanyards. After the new year, I've already talked to somebody, but they wouldn't be able to do the job anyway until after the new year. So we're looking at doing the car magnets and possibly the lanyards if enough people are interested. And the hope would be is that we can get those in time for when we have the Frost Family Festival.
That's good.
So, yeah, because we don't really have any physical gear anymore.
Yeah.
And so I can only buy the magnets and stuff in bulk. That would be the perfect time, Frost Family Festival. And then also bingo night is usually the month after that. So that's really gives us the best opportunity. Beyond that, we can figure out other ways to sell them or distribute them. We can worry about that later. But I'm gonna put in an order for that after the new year. So that's the spiritware. The next thing I had was really just sort of just to finalize the grant process where we were from last month. So there's 1, 3, 4. We've got 5, I believe, 5 grants that were approved and they've been notified and they're already spending money. So I guess that's good. So it's the PTA Superstar of the Month. It's the library collection, of course. Frost Minds Matter. The PBIS with Ms. Hornbecker. And then the CSS, the Positive Reinforcement or the NEST is the other one. There was one other one that Mr. Verbicar with the spelling bee that we've been doing annually. Going back and through and scrubbing the budget, we realized we had a budget line specifically for the spelling bee. So while we didn't approve his grant, it turns out he has got a budget line for that anyway. Where I think we're going to keep that in there so that he doesn't keep having to apply for the grant year after year after year, knowing we're going to do this. So
Does he feel like he needs more than what the budget line gives him?
no, he actually had asked for, I think it was $212.50 in the grant, and the budget line had given him $300.
Okay.
So he's got more than enough right now, but he's he said that he would look at it and see if we have to adjust it, and then we could do that for the budget next year. So that's the information I have on the grants. The spring grants, believe it or not, are gonna be at the beginning of February. I'll be sending that out, if you can pass that on to staff, and then usually the deadline for that is middle of February. But we are gonna have to vote on that in March, early March, so I can get that approved and distributed. And usually that's, there's a couple that are always in the spring, like the sewing machines, the family consumer sciences, you have the sewing machines. And I think there's another, Frost Minds Matters, and then the library, usually always does a spring one. So that's kind of what I'm expecting for that. Frost Family Festival, I am going to need help.
Yeah, I was gonna ask,
A
maybe
lot
should
of help.
we start?
Probably. So before, I don't know if you remember Janine, but Janine was like my right-hand person at doing the festival. And then we needed every bit of everything. So we need the treasurer there. If you can be like any bodies that we can have, really need to be there
Well, now
because.
I feel special.
Well, I'm just saying, have you ever been to done a family festival?
We did not,
No,
because
because
I
it's
did,
virtual.
yeah, well, and I didn't
It's a
come, but
big-
my son was a little freaked out about coming to
It
class, and he did
is-
not want to come extra.
It is a lot
What's
of
the
people.
date of that? Pam? So
The sixth,
It's the 16th,
February.
February 16th, and the snow date, which is important because apparently I jinx events, so I've had 2 snow dates.
Ooh.
Mhm. So that's also important, February 24th, since that may very well be the date we hold it. But Cheryl, I don't know if you can reach back, or there were a bunch of Wakefield Forest people that helped me out the last time.
Okay.
So we've got like pizza servers.
yeah, do you need just like people there, and we should set up a sign up finish, or do you need help planning, or both? I guess. I'm
Both.
Yeah.
So I need kind of like Cheryl, if you weren't doing anything,
Uh-huh.
you would be. I need kind of like the right-hand person that really just helps me pull it off. And then that day, you need people that are manning, like obviously the treasurer has to be there with the square because there's credit card payment. And then you just need people who are there serving pizza
Can
and
you write out a list?
I've got to sign up to this work.
Okay, then perfect.
So I might need help doing
It's
that
a great
because
event. It's really great.
Mhm.
You know,
it really is, and I tell you the truth, I mean, I don't know what we're going to get as far as the food part of it goes, because some people are still weird
Yeah.
about eating in, I totally understand all that. But Ms. Hornbecker's like, let's do it, so we're gonna support. So,
Do the advanced work.
Yeah.
Or do it again, like.
yeah, we're gonna do the advanced orders like we always do. I probably need to get with you about contacts, because I'm not sure where we are with the elementary schools, and if there's been turnover there, and who to contact, and so in January, I'll get with you.
I know Canterbury Woods has started already talking about transition.
Yep.
Because I get there, I still get there.
Well, and I'm in touch with the room parents at Wake Forest that are 6th grade, so I can find out what their transition.
Yeah.
Usually it's beginning of January. When we had the November meeting, Ms. Hornbecker kind of laid out what the transition plan was, and it's usually like January. I think they come to Frost
And I
and,
think they're not coming
They're
to
not
Ross
coming
this
this
year
year.
because of all the construction, so we may get more families that.
Oh,
like
okay,
the
okay,
festival.
yeah, I know the. my
They're
sister's
going
Wakefield,
to-
but-
I understand that Frost will be going to the elementary schools, but the schools may not be coming here. So the festival will be the first time that a lot of people will even see the school.
Correct, that's right.
So it's just, at some point, it's just bodies for running pizza and bodies for doing things like that. And if we have the spirit wear, we're gonna need just bodies to man that and do that. But really, it's managing that. There are so many people that come in so fast. You almost have to have a person that kind of stops them and says, hey, come over here.
Right, we need some like.
Yes,
directors.
yeah,
Which
and
I
I've
don't know
got-
where anything in the school is.
I've got signs that we used before, go this way and all kinds of stuff from the front entrance, and there's a
Well,
whole
and there's
setup.
like
that
a
goes
lot,
with that.
Mr. Barrett ran like the locker, practice the locker
Right.
thing and stuff, I think, right, which obviously
Yeah.
don't have.
Right,
Lockers,
that's right.
Right. So yeah, so I need to get with you the contacts, and then at some point, I just need, if anybody can reach back, I'm going to at some point have to send something out and just say, anybody, please
Yeah.
help, you know?
Yeah, just let us know what you need, and maybe we can get some 8th graders, if we need people to direct, they actually know where things are in the
Yeah,
school.
we have the Frost ambassador.
Yeah,
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say, Ms. Hornbecker always does that, I think the
Yeah.
ambassadors, and they're very good, and I think they wear like special shirts, and then
Yes.
you kind of direct people where to go. So that's been really helpful, but really, we just need, and I've got the sign sheets, I think it's maybe like 5 to 10 people. And then there's a bunch of things that go with that sign up genius as well to provide supplies. So
Okay.
we'll do that. So that'll be a huge
This probably.
thing after the new year.
It
So
looks like, did Ms. Hornbecker send out a schedule already? I'm just looking, this looks familiar.
I'm the room parent for the sixth grade little one and the little one, and we were
It's,
sent to schedule.
this
Yes,
sounds
I
like
sent
something
that,
she
really
wants
does
to
send
do.
that
Yeah.
out to the elementary.
Yeah.
school.
So there's already like a timeline. in
okay,
here,
perfect,
like-
perfect. We've been emailing about some other stuff, but I hadn't seen the timeline yet.
Yeah, and then I'm still in the like Canterbury Woods PTA Facebook group, so I can post stuff there.
That would be wonderful. We've had some weird glitches along the way with kind of hitting dead end contacts, and we had a couple of years where we lost Mantua 1 year from another event, and then we lost other schools from another event. So as far as I know, I mean, it's as coordinated as it can be with other things going on. So if you don't mind afterward, I wouldn't mind checking the schedule, or I can email them.
Do we know if all the PTAs at the elementary school do a Newsies Tues every week? 'Cause we were doing it.
I believe so.
When you and I were
Yeah,
there.
so the
but-
schedule came through the Canterbury Woods principal.
Yeah, this came from the little
So
one.
then the PTAs at the, I mean, I can coordinate with Canterbury Woods for sure.
Yeah,
Ms. Hornbecker sent that out to all. the
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes like us, it comes out through multiple, right? Like Susan's
Right.
sending it out, their admins are sending it out, and their PTA is sending it out, it's coming out my lines.
Yeah, and then I'm
But-
sure like
but you
people are
catch it at some
really,
point,
like,
right.
we're gonna have to catch people again early January, because everyone right now, we can
Yeah.
like just get through these last 2 weeks. I know they're doing
Yeah.
FLE 5th grade
Six,
Yeah.
as well, which is like the beginning of like all the
Fifth
sensitive
grade is the
stuff.
really,
Yeah, so I think
Close your
everyone's
eyes.
just,
put your seatbelt
Not-
on, content.
Well, you
yeah,
really hit the ground running in like mid-January, because
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I've got plenty of time, and then you look at the calendar, and you're like, oh my God, I
yeah,
gotta
but
do this right now.
we will make sure that you've got help.
Yeah.
So,
So I'll work with you, and we'll get the contacts, and then that gets distributed to the schools, the flyer gets distributed, and then there's a whole process with that. So there's prepaids, and then there's pay on site day of, which is actually where we do the best fundraising, is of the day of. But so there'll be a certain amount of prepaids, but it's that day of the cash in and all of the credit card maintenance and being able to separate that from so it's a bunch of stuff like that. So I put it on David's calendar, so let's hope that works.
or we'll get the square from him and figure it out.
Yes, and I think he's got 3 or 4 squares,
Yeah,
so several people can, be the post that does that if somebody has to back out. So anyway, so that's the Cross Family Festival. I actually had some questions from some Wakefield Forest people about the bingo night, because at Wakefield Forest, the bingo night used to be a
Yeah.
big thing.
yeah.
So they're already excited. I don't have any information on
So
that.
Gloria Totten is the chair from that.
Right.
I actually, Stephanie Murray, who had been doing it previously, did actually meet with Gloria and did the transition handoff.
Okay.
So Gloria should have everything. I can check back in with her.
Who
But-
schedules the date for that? Is that something you guys know that, is that's us that schedules that, right?
Y'all just work with us and let us know.
Yeah, I guess we just have to coordinate, make sure we're not stepping on something else, but it's usually mid-March sometimes, so I
Yeah.
guess we need to.
Yeah, it was supposed to be like the day after the shutdown last year or in
Oh.
2020. So they had everything, like it was all set. So we actually don't have a lot of this, like a lot of the materials for it had already been purchased in 2020, so.
Yeah, the family festival was the last thing that happened, and then the
Yeah.
bingo night was supposed to be like
Yeah.
literally right after
I
the
think it was
shutdown.
like that
Friday
Friday.
the 13th.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah, so I'll circle with Gloria and, but if there are people who want to help,
Yeah.
her information should be now on our PTA
Yep.
website.
It's on the website.
And so I will circle back with Gloria and make sure that's sort of making.
And that's another thing that has like the sign up genius and then all the helpers and all that kind of stuff. So it gets squishy in January and February because I'm trying to snag everybody for the family festival, and then they're wiped out by the time it comes to the bingo night. But you need just as many, if not more people than that. And
We'll try to give people a heads up, like when they come back in January, like gear up. We've got a couple busy months,
There's a
some really
bunch.
fun, important stuff.
Going back to stuff though, right? Like,
Yeah.
Maybe that's.
Yeah.
And that, those PTA emails in January, well, I think we're just gonna load that up and just be like, this is what's coming, everybody be on the lookout and kind of be thinking about that. So the only thing I really gonna do, because we're not scheduled to have a meeting in January, a PTA meeting, I don't think it's till February 1st. is
Yeah,
probably the
but I
next
think
one.
that's good, like, I think it's good,
So,
we're not gonna tax.
the
people
email would be
if you're
great.
like, hey, we're not having a meeting, but please go sign up to do one of these things.
And Miss Metzger usually helps out with the bingo night. She's
Yeah,
out right
yeah.
now.
She
She's out
said
on
she
leave
had
now,
show
but
call
she.
numbers, yep.
And that's, I mean, that is a really big fundraiser. to have. I mean, the family festival is too, probably not as much now because we don't, as much as we made on the food, we made probably twice as much on the spirit wear. And we don't really have that physical spirit wear
Right, so we
anymore,
could
so.
talk about, do we want to buy some spirit wear? Does the, I don't know how we.
Maybe we
do
can
that.
go back and look at records of how much sold at those, at previous events.
I'm
and then
sure
sort of
it's
scale
somewhere.
down from that, but.
I'm sure it is somewhere, and I
But
have to go back
yeah,
and,
I don't know how much hassle that's going.
Well, that's kind of a whole other ball of wax.
Yeah. So we don't have to figure that out now.
Anyway, so that's a great fundraiser, so definitely want to make sure that we, whoever we snag, we kind of, hey, think about this for next one too. Anyway, so I had that, and then I think we went through everything that was in the email. Oh, I guess the other thing was, Frost Minds Matters, doing the challenge, donation challenge, dropping off non-perishables into the Falcon Focus class by Friday. We used to have a chair for the food for thought, and we don't anymore, but I've been, because I'm working with them on the grants, we've been messaging back and forth about how to do that, how to integrate next year, or what we can do to help next year, or what we can do to help them this year. Kind of get more bang for their buck, so that's why we threw it in they asked that I throw it in there. And then you mentioned the staff thing on the 16th. Yeah, the Sign Up Genius is not full, but it was
Yeah,
pretty
I'll go
good.
back and get
That
it.
went fast.
People like that.
People
They're
love
out
stuff
and
like
about
that.
anyway, and it's easy to grab and put
They
in.
love it.
I'm
Yeah.
baking cookies this weekend, I'll eat whatever.
Well, and that was even stuff that we added on, we did pizza at the family festival, we even added on cookies and chips, and people just want dessert, donating sodas, and they love stuff like that. The other thing was, we don't have a chair this year for the book fair either, but that works out perfectly because everything's virtual.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, they said that they're hoping to do it next year, but I'm not sure with the renovation if the library will
The
be.
library is part of the first phase.
Okay, so maybe next year there could be a book fair. Okay, so anyway, there's some links there if you guys want to get some stuff for the kids. I'm not that familiar with Alice in Wonderland, but that's going on.
We start Thursday, Friday,
I've got
Saturday.
some tickets to Scout.
Do you?
I actually promised them to somebody, our schedule changed, so we watched it for Friday, but then something came up, so now we're going Saturday. But I have tickets, anyway.
I guess the only other thing is Emmy, our fundraiser person with the food trucks and all that kind of stuff, she has just been
Yeah, she's
crushing it.
fantastic.
And she's doing her finals at George Mason, like this week.
Oh, wow,
So she's looking to kind of do something, a little something every month.
yeah,
She was trying to do something with Alice in Wonderland, but the finals were,
yeah.
the
that's
timing
fine.
did not work.
Yeah,
So,
I
but
just-
she's been doing great.
Yeah, she's fantastic. Yeah, and I have to go in like 2 minutes.
Okay, so that's all I have. If you want to move on to the treasurer's
Yeah, so the
report.
treasurer's report, I mean, there's, David had sent us a couple things. I mean, basically for November, in membership dues and extra donations, we got an additional $56.94. The Veterans Day fundraiser that Emmy put together raised $88.87. And then our expenses for the month to reimburse for the hearing and vision screening, like refreshments and stuff, was $130.53. So, and again, that was another instance where people really did step up and it was very much appreciated. So I think though folks aren't so keen on attending meetings, I think they do step up where they're directly supporting the school. So we'll just continue to encourage that. And our savings balance at the end of November was $8,031.45. And our checking balance at the end of November was $15,351.39. So we are doing good from a financial perspective, and hopefully some of these spring fundraisers will, continue to do well and bring in funds.
We do have a pending squad locker deposit for $546.72.
Nice.
So we've got to check for that. This David hasn't put it in yet, so that's
Okay.
gonna go into.
Yeah, he sent some spreadsheet that I didn't understand, so I wasn't even gonna try to. It's like, I don't need to have like misinformation out there because I can't read his like accounting spreadsheet. I'm usually pretty good with spreadsheets, but this one was. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it over to, I mean, it's
Sure.
sort of around the table, but I have to jump. So I think probably adjourn pretty quickly, but I didn't want to cut off other people had things to talk about.
No, just going back through the list, the last thing, the next thing on the list was November meeting minutes. We had some technical glitches and issues with the November meeting, so we're gonna get something out probably at the next meeting. We'll probably go through November and December meeting minutes and then try to just approve them both at the same time, so we'll review that. That was all I had. And like I said, the next meeting we've got on the schedule is February 1st. And that's gonna be 7:30, and I'm assuming the same room that we've been doing it in 508, but I'll let you guys tell me where you think it should be. That's all I had. If you want to go around the table.
Sure.
Oh, no, nothing for me. Sorry. No, I'm good.
Excellent.
All right. Kamala, you have anything? Kamala, you're online, do you have anything you want to add?
Yes, I'm here online. No, actually, no, I don't have anything to add. I was just was planning to come in person today, but I'm working, so I'm online. But for the PTA, so it's the next meeting on February 7th, you said, right?
February.
February 1st. Okay, okay. So I will try to come in person. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that she's the only one online, so.
Okay. All right, I guess we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All right,
Good job.
Thank you. Thanks for coming today.
thank you guys very much.
I think you could feel like you had here. You had a couple people on earlier.